Need your internet lang.
10 seconds.
Check Facebook.
10,
Mine wants
9,
mine wants to communicate via Facebook.
3, 2.
A woman can wear many hats, and often that's the
That's it
rule, not
started.
the exception. It takes a lot of hard work to balance everything she has on her plate, let alone do every single thing well. Just like everybody else, there will always be the temptation to settle and give in to the pwede na yan attitude, may it be in her career, family life, relationships, or even health. But, of course, there are women who refuse to say pwede na yan. These are women who don't settle for mediocrity because they believe there's always that one last push left in them. They don't want to regret the moment they gave in and say those words that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Today, five beautiful women join us to talk about never settling in anything that they do in every aspect of their lives. First up, we have, of course, Mazda Road to Indy driver, Michelle Bumgarner. Hey, Michelle.
Hi,
Want to
guys.
say hi?
Hi. So glad to be here.
Excellent to have you. Michelle and I have a history on the track. Next, we have, of course, a teacher from Explorations Preschool, Liana Lim. Hey, Liana.
Hello. Hi.
Nice to see you, lovely lady. Of course, we also
having
have
me.
professional. Oh, nice to have you too, of course. We also have a professional photographer and 90s gifted child. We have Shira Luna. Oh, we lost her. Okay, we're going to get her back. I think it's a connection. And we also have this afternoon the co-owner of Myth Lifestyle Boutique at Greenbelt 5, Miss Ruby Gan. Hi, Ruby.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, ladies, excellent to have you today. And of course, thank you very, very much for joining us for a very interesting discussion on never settling. Now, I'm sure a lot of us, all of us, have something to say on this topic. So let's get the ball rolling, shall we? Before anything, I'd like to remind everyone watching that they can also join our live Twitter conversation by using the hashtag #BestBeautiful. All right, ladies, shall we? I'd like to get the ball rolling by asking you, what for you is this pwede na yan attitude, and why don't you believe in it? Who wants to take it first? I got Ruby
Can you repeat the
on
question?
screen. Ruby, you
Sorry.
want to start?
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
When
what
I
for
was
you
growing
is
up,
okay.
yes, sorry. When I was growing up, I was, well, of course, that was still in the 60s, long before you guys were born.
You don't
So,
want it.
no, no, but so basically, when I would do school projects, there's always this thing in me that I wanted to do something that's really excellent. I want an all-out project. In our term right now, kina-career, that's how we call it. But I remember my mom would always say, pwede na yan. Why can't you do it like this? Pwede na yan. Because of course I can understand at that point in time, mas makalat kasi because when I embroider, let's say, that was the thing back then, embroidery, talagang todo, embroidery. So my mom would really be, it would really get to my mom kasi ang daming kalat, there were so many threads going around, ang daming kalat talaga. So she would say, pwede na yan. But for me, it's not pwede na yan. I want to give the best project in school. So I guess it carried on until now. And I didn't realize that there was such a thing then until, of course, I was growing up, I was in college. Basically, still, I will not accept something that is below my standard. So, yeah, until now, I'm still pushing the envelope.
You know, that's wonderful to hear that you found it within yourself. Because usually it's how you're raised also, right? So maybe your mom just didn't want to stress you out. That's why
Yeah,
she was
probably, yes.
pwede na yan. But it's really rare also
right.
that it'll come from the child, what's the term? From inside, from you yourself?
Internal.
Yeah, you know, yes, that's right. Because for me, I really cannot fault my mom because that was how she was brought up. So I guess everything was pwede na, which really, well, it doesn't sit well with me pag sinabing pwede na yan, or
Actually.
okay na yan, which really is, it really gets to me.
So
So,
ever since a young age, kina-career mo na lahat.
oo, kinakareer ko na lahat, na it has to be the best. Because after all, it is a reflection of oneself. That's how I see it.
And
So when
also,
I do, yeah.
it also means you're very competitive, if you don't mind my saying so, right?
Yeah, I also realized that, of course, very much later in my life. I didn't know, but I just wanted to really give the best. So even in school, everything in my notebook, the way I put together things, so everything has to be just perfect.
Well, okay,
To
thank
make
you
the
very much.
OC.
Yeah, kind of. Those are our terms nowadays, the career, the OC.
Yes.
But speaking of being competitive, to marry your story, I wonder about Michelle. Because, of course, Michelle here is always pitted against guys on the track. And
Yeah.
you are very, very competitive. I've seen you
Yeah.
myself. Do you think it was also born, what's the term? Inborn? You found it within yourself? Or were you raised that way? Because your dad owned the track in Subic.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like obviously being at the time being one of the only girls racing against guys. I mean, my dad knew naman that of course I tried my best, pero he wouldn't be naman na parang
Go
that's
pa,
not
go.
good enough, you know what I mean? Because but he would never say that naman. Obviously, if I make mistakes, then he would tell me. But it was more me telling myself that I could have done better. It was always me, parang I did it. It was always me telling myself that parang I should have done this instead of that. You know, the split-second decisions. So, I mean, of course, my dad told me naman growing up, he's just like, one of those things that parang, um, if I was always having a hard time, he'd always be like, if I didn't know what I was doing, he'd probably always say that parang, how would you know unless you tried? He basically always told me to never give up, naman. So my dad's instilled that in me and with my brother and my sisters at a very young age. So definitely I look up to him, especially he's very inspiring, naman. He's definitely a role model of mine. So until to this day, naman, in what I do in racing and in my life, I always go back to what he says, na parang, you never know unless you try, never give up. So I think that's why I talk to myself and tell myself that parang I could have done better. You know what I mean? In that kind of way. So,
I like how basically your angle also is the never give up
yeah.
versus, again, coming from Ruby's statement of, I want to make it the best.
Yeah.
Those are also two definitions of
Yeah,
excellence,
exactly.
right? It's not all one size fits all.
Yeah.
So I wonder also just a little bit more on Michelle before I actually go to Liana. Were you always, I know you're competitive in the track. Are you
Yeah.
competitive outside the track? Like, just maybe shopping, like I gotta get this too, or are you? Because
I think I do. I think I definitely have that competitiveness instilled in me no matter what I do. I always want to, even if I play tennis or if I do something, parang I want to be the top talaga. So, I mean, friendly naman. I'll be very competitive in an aggressive way if I have to, but friendly naman on the outside.
Okay, I don't. I'll jump into something else later because I was about to tease you. If you were also competitive, like I should always be everybody's best friend. I mean, that's another way of being competitive, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you mentioned
parang you should be the closest one to some.
everybody, right?
Yeah, I guess in a way.
Pati yun, guilty ka?
No, hindi naman. I'm very laid back with those kinds of things naman. Kasi syempre, fast-paced is what I do for a living, diba? So when I'm off the track naman, medyo relaxed and laid back is what I like.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Michelle. I actually, there's a reason why for the first question I'm leaving Liana for the last. And this is because Liana has an educational background. She is a preschool teacher. And is it encouraged at a young age that you should be, always your best? Because nowadays, what I'm reading up on is that it's pressure for kids. Right? Am I correct?
Yeah, there's actually lots of pressure. And when Ruby was talking, it kind of made me think about the difference between internal and external discipline. And so you know how external discipline, to unearth the jargon, external discipline means we reward. So instead of us relying on ourselves or us relying on what we really want to do inside. So what they were saying earlier, na it's from within. People some children or some parents, when they try to make the child do something else, they'll reward them with, let's say, okay, you do this and I'm going to buy you a toy. When in fact, as teachers, what we really want the children to develop is the internal discipline.
And be true
Yeah,
to
so that's,
your
yeah.
voice, right? But of
Yes,
course, I
yes,
didn't ask
yes.
you. How about you? How did you
Oh,
develop
about me.
your hindi pwede na yan attitude?
I think it's also the same. It all really roots like in my childhood, my parents, that they really helped raise me up in an environment that allowed me to really be the best. And there wasn't that pressure. Although I guess it was really me putting that pressure on myself, like to excel in school. And as a child, my main passion was really ballet. So early on, I started dancing ballet when I was 6 years old, and even until high school, I was dancing. So to be able to balance all of these things wasn't because I knew in the end my dad would be proud or my mom would do this and that. It's just really because I wanted to do it and I wanted to be excellent in what I did.
Okay, I think
So I guess that's my story.
I think I can relate with you there in a sense that the given for me growing up is that academics should be delivered. And then if you
Yes.
want to do anything else, you got to make sure you have a consistent standard of good academics so you can explore the rest. Like you said, you wanted ballet, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
wanted to do also like, swimming and track, so everything. But the second your grades suffered, like suddenly you have a C or a B minus, you're going to have to say, okay, I think you better slow down in the others and concentrate back on the educational track, right?
Yes.
So you're also
Yes.
learning balance.
Yes, that was a big part of like dancing, because discipline's a really big thing. That right after school I'd have to go straight to dance class, and then I'd at the end of the day, after all of these dance rehearsals, you still have homework. So being able to balance all of these things, something I learned how to juggle when I was young.
That word, discipline. Okay, let's admit it. Do you feel like everybody? I want to get back Michelle also and Ruby into the conversation, of course. With the word discipline, do you think that's frowned on nowadays? Because I think that's also one of the standard words linked to an attitude of excellence. It's not exactly associated with pwede na yan.
Yes.
Does
Yes.
everybody agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the lack? Why is there this lax already when it comes to that one word, discipline? Anybody want to jump in?
I think, yeah, can I?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Yeah, because
think
we're
it's
the
because-
moms.
So I think it's because everything is just accessible right now.
Mm-hmm.
So parang mas mabilis to lose this discipline. I,
You lose it
I
because
don't.
there's no, how do I say it? That controlling body, or how do we say it? Edit, like official. What's the term? Like an FDC, like the board, like the one who says RAP,
Something like
or general
policing.
patronage. Yeah, it's policing.
Yes.
There you go. Is that
Yeah,
what
so,
you're saying
so I
nowadays?
think it's something like that. Yeah, since parang now parenting is more lax. So, and then the extracurricular, like what you were saying earlier, you have to do well in the academics before you can do the extracurricular. But things right now, the way I see it, and so many things are happening all at the same time. And kids are given the same liberty. So I probably I am wrong because I have two grown boys already, but they went through the same thing, academics, good academics before you can indulge in whatever sports. But when my son went to college and he was invited to join the varsity team, and I told him academics cannot fail. So he really has to juggle between varsity, judo varsity, and academics. And he was able to do that. That's why I really instilled discipline. And I was telling him, when you succeed in juggling this, then it will be easier for you when you enter the real life, when you enter the real world, so to speak.
Ruby, okay. Yeah, you mentioned something that is a truth nowadays. The fact that everything is going on. A lot of people want to be so many things at one time. In fact,
That's right.
you are encouraged to be a multi-hyphenate. You can't just be one thing anymore. Do you ladies think this, promulgated the pwede na yan attitude just so you can achieve another title to your resume, another, designation? What are your thoughts on that, ladies?
Yeah, I think that's also a factor. I don't know if the other ladies will agree.
Mm-hmm. Michelle and Liana, what are your thoughts on that? I want to be so many things, so standards and excelling in just one thing seem to, falter or go down a bit.
To be honest, I mean, especially obviously I'm 25 now, and obviously I see my little nephew growing up, and see how different it is to when I was his age to compared to how the kids his age are now. The way that they grow, like the way that time has changed is totally different. It's pretty much night and day to how different things are from when I was his age. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I do agree because there are so many things that so many people want to do at such a short period of time. Na parang that they do take that mentality. Na pwede na yan, I can do this and then I'll move on to something else. Pwede na yan, I can do this and then move on to something else. So I mean, with me, I mean, I didn't finish school. My dad allowed me to go homeschool because he supported me with what I wanted to do. So when I said I chose racing, he said, okay, we don't have to do school now, we can do school later, because at that time, racing was at a point where they were choosing kids were excelling in racing at such a young age that we didn't have time for school. I did eventually get my GED when I moved to the States, so I've had to not discipline myself with academics, but I've had to discipline myself with what I wanted to do for my career professionally and where I wanted to be. I've had to discipline myself, obviously with the help of my parents, but I've had to instill that in me that this is where I want to be, this is where I want to reach, this is the goal that I want to reach, and I have to make sure that I still have that sight, like I still have that goal in sight to parang do the things that I want to do to get there. You know what I mean? So
Michelle, what you have rare, it's very, very rare, is that from a young age you knew what you wanted.
Yeah, I really did.
Right?
I really did talaga. So even
support was there.
Yeah, even all my friends in school at the time, when I told them I was going to be homeschooled, they didn't understand that because they weren't going through the things that I was going through, because they didn't knew what they wanted to do at like 14, 15, because that's when I stopped going to school, at a proper school, you know what I mean? I was homeschooled, but
I'm trying to look at Liana while Michelle's talking.
Sorry.
In school. No, this is what makes it so interesting about, we have a preschool teacher who, of course, will say, Liana, please stay in school.
Yeah. No, but actually, I'm also an advocate of homeschool. I mean, I do teach in a regular school, in a progressive preschool, but at the same time, I know a lot of people who are into the homeschool setting, and there's nothing wrong with that as well.
And
as long as it's really, there's somebody really facilitating. Sorry?
There's a lot of the parents now who are really doing it.
Yes,
a variety of reasons, but safety is one of the top issues. Anyway, okay. Obviously, yes, we have set the standards that these ladies knew what they wanted, they give it their all. But nobody's perfect, ladies, okay? So let's get juicy and let's be human right now. Admit, let's be honest, were there instances at all that you did give in to, or an example that there's somewhere in your life you will say, pwede na yan. Like, for example, I'll start the ball. When I do groceries, I mean, do you really think I look like this when I do the groceries? Right? Are we going to swipe for like our mascaras and blow dry our hair, or put on lipstick to go to the groceries? That's my personal confession. What about you, ladies?
I feel the same. I don't dress up like this. I mean, I don't put makeup either. I was just coerced into doing this.
And you're very, very natural beauty. And hey, what's that expression also? At least lipstick man lang. We're supposed to have it, right? A little color on our faces. Yeah. So that's not too much effort. What about Michelle and Ruby?
I mean, there are so many times where, I just want to put sweats on. Especially living in Indiana. I mean, I can go out to the grocery, go to Target or whatever, and this is I'd be like, I'm fine with this. I mean, this is too, doing all the other stuff like putting makeup on, just go to the groceries. I think it's pretty much
Michelle,
nonsense.
I'm going to pounce on that. I'm going to pounce on your statement right now because I
Okay.
know your brother is a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So
It's a fashion no.
There is a very notable fashion
Oh my
designer. So
gosh,
does
he
cringe
definitely,
when
he
sees you?
definitely. He's always like, Michelle, you can't walk out of the house like that. Sometimes I'm wearing shorts and chanelas, you know. I'm like, I'm just going to the, I'm just going to the mall to watch a movie. Like, I don't have to dress up all the time. So that's where we kind of clashed naman, me and my brother. He's like, syempre, fashion designer, and then I'm just like, I want to be laid back, you know.
Laid back, but not, pwede na yan. I mean,
Yeah.
right? Na mukha. Okay, here's another one. It's going to be tied up to Ruby because she is the owner of one of the most
Yeah.
fashionable boutiques as well. Ruby, is there ever a moment that you step out of your house that you're like, maybe fashion-wise, pwede na yan? What's like your, not so fashionable outfit ever? Because kung
Well,
short chinelas si Michelle, what about you?
ang pwede na yan for me is when I'm wearing my gym attire. Since I'm always in the gym. So, but I will put on a decent jacket and go to the mall or do my groceries. But I don't really bother putting on makeup or, look my best each time. It's just that I guess I'm comfortable this way already. I've been in the fashion industry for such a long time. But what I can say when I settled for something that is less than acceptable for me was when the kids were still in Xavier during the elementary days, and the school would hold family fun run. And there's always one girl that I'm competing with when it comes to competitive. There's always this one girl. Now, she's also a mom, and we would be either first or second. And there was one point, I guess because I was courteous enough then, hindi pa yun nakalabas yung pangil ko. So the queue to the finish line was very narrow. So, and then she looked at me. So, what are we going to do? She said. So I said, yeah, go ahead. So I gave her that first place. So it's like, why did I do that?
Pinagbigyan mo na. Pinagbigyan.
Yeah, pinagbigyan. But then after that, it's like, why did I do that? I must be so stupid. So now, not anymore. I think I learned my lesson. And from then on, pag may nakakasabay ako, because I also run, not motor. So
Michelle was like, suddenly,
I will just have to outrace the other person beside me and go and reach the finish line ahead of him or her.
Hi, Shira. I'm sorry. Thank you very much to Ruby. Shira just got online, of course. I introduced her to our dear Hangout viewers. Hi, Shira. Shira is, of course, a professional photographer and, of course, is the 90s gifted child. Shira, hi.
Hey,
Welcome
everyone.
to Hangout.
I could not settle with my horrible internet connection.
But at least we're happy to have you already. Shira, we're talking about confessions. Of course, the fact that you're here, we already believe and agree that pwede na yan is not a good thing. But we also have our little confessions to make that there are moments we kind of let it all hang out.
Yeah.
Right? What are your pwede na yan moments? Shai? Oh no, did we lose you? Sarah, baby? Okay. What are your pwede na yan moments? Like the fashion? Oh, as a photographer, like when you had to submit something, do you edit your pictures or do you just give it off the bat? I think we're going to wait for Shai. Shai? Oh boy. Okay, I think we're gonna fix Shira's connection first. Okay, getting back to the ladies because I like that it's becoming, we're being human. And fashion is one.
I have another one.
Okay, yes.
I have another one to share. I'm a really bad parker, so I'm going to shamelessly admit this.
Oh no!
That when I park, sometimes I'm like, pwede na yan.
No parallel parking.
No parallel parking.
Oh no!
None at all. So I feel so pressured, like if I'm going to like hypermart, and then Just maybe I'd rather go to the parking that's way, way far away and I'd park there instead of what's convenient and what's nearby because I really don't know how to park.
I don't want to be next to you. I think that's
I'm the
pet peeve of mine.
same.
We're like, ano ba naman yan? Stay within the lines. Anyway, but thank you. Thank you very much for being honest. Okay, ladies, here's another very important thing because after all, our hashtag is, of course, Best Beautiful. Let's talk about beauty regimens. And let's admit, as ladies from our 20s, 30s, going on 40s even, our skin pretty much goes downhill. So skin maintenance is a must. Do you think skincare is pwede na yan also? Me, it's a definite no-no. We have to invest in our skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody says yes on that?
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Why?
100%.
Like, what would be your regimen then? Like, how would you feel most beautiful? And what is a pwede na yan beautiful? I got you.
Well, I go to a dermatologist close by, so obviously, I love going to my dermatologist, and I only get products from them. So obviously, I live in the States, so I always have to stock up on their stuff. But I mean, growing up, I used to be really lazy about washing my face before going to bed, And obviously, my face was really bad before, and then now I've learned talaga na I'm really, really disciplined on that too. That I
Well,
have.
it shows now. Your skin's glowing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
And
But
this is a girl who spends her days under a very hot sun in the rain. So sunblock is a must.
yeah, exactly. So I've been very disciplined. That's also one of the things I've been very disciplined with. That no matter how late I get home or whatever I'm doing, I definitely have to wash my face, take it off, and wash my face, and then go to bed. So.
Okay, thank you for that. You've never had a pwede na yan moment? Like sometimes you're just so tired, you had a great party, and
Sometimes
girls
I used to be
don't
like
take
that.
out their mascara. You just
I
go
used
straight
to be like that. I used to be like that. Na pwede na yan. Like, oh, it's okay. I'll just wash it na lang when I wake up, But obviously, when you wake up, all your makeup's on your pillow.
Yeah.
So no. So I've learned talaga. I've been really good. Now I've changed that. I've learned. I think it's also coming with age. I'm understanding things more. So yeah. So now I'm very disciplined with that.
What about Liana, Ruby? Share with us your beauty tips.
I felt the same. I was like that when I was young. It's just wash and wear, like my hair.
Liana, you're still
I
very
just
young.
yeah. Thank you. But so when I was dancing and in high school and college, I'd come home after concerts and sometimes I'd be so tired that I wouldn't even want to take off, the eyeliner that's like been put on like so many layers. And even mascara.
It's so
Same
hard to
same
take off.
thing.
It's so
Yeah,
hard to take off.
exactly.
One's wife doesn't take it all out.
Yeah, and I wasn't the type to invest in like toners and these things that I'd see in my mom's, dresser and all of these things, but I never paid attention to it until a little after college. My mom was like, "You need to put sunblock every day, every day."
I agree.
And then there was a feature recently. I don't know if any of you watched it, but it showed the difference of when you're not wearing sunblock and when you are. They did a short documentary about it, and then it really humbled me. I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to wear sunblock every day, like morning and evening, even at night.
You know what? Your sharing of eyeliner and earlier on with Michelle's mascara, you're lucky, you don't get styes. Because if you leave it there, you're lucky.
Yeah, very. Buti na lang.
What about Ruby? Especially since we're moms, let's admit, really at the end of a long, long day, we just want to crash. Right? You
That's
just
true.
want to go straight.
That's very true. Yeah. And the one thing I can say, that is one thing that I learned from my mom. She's the type to really have a regimen, and that's what I learned from her. So that time she had toner. I really don't understand why she has to have the toner and then the cream or yeah. There's the 1, 2, 3, and then when she would talk to the beauty consultant, there's the list of things to do. It's like, can we simplify it and just get down to the nitty-gritty? But at least I learned from her. But I didn't start early. I started when the kids were born already. I really had to go through the list, like my mom's, and then I learned how to simplify it. So I am done in 3 steps.
But
So
I love that you're
just
still doing it. I think that's the whole point. All of us ladies, when it comes to skincare, it's a must. It's a must. And I think the fact that we're all exerting a little effort just to always take care of our skin, that's a definite hindi pwede na yan.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's play a little game because pretty much we covered a bunch of topics already, from education to Kikay moments. I want to hear from all three of you. I wish Shira was here. Tell me if it's pwede na yan or not. I'm going to mention something, a category or a word. Tell me if it's pwede na yan for you, or obviously I need something excellent. Michelle, I know the answer to Michelle here. Car. Do you say pwede na yan to cars?
No.
Oh, yeah. Michelle, I was expecting to say no.
No.
What about Liana and Ruby? For me, if it takes me from one point to the other, it doesn't break down, it doesn't pollute the air, right? And there's aircon. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah, but for me, it has to qualify in all the criteria that I will set. Like, for instance, the service center.
Oh.
So if it's accessible, no, because the way I live, my lifestyle is I don't have a maid, I don't have a driver. Okay, so I do everything myself.
Wow.
So when I bring the car for maintenance, which I normally do and I follow when it's required, there's always a due date, right?
Yeah.
So when there's X number of kilometers or something like that, then you have to bring it back to the service center. So it has to be accessible, and it has to be within the range of where I work, or close to the house or something like that. Yes, yes. So that is very important for me. So if there is something that, let's say, will take me to Green Hills for the servicing of the car, then that's definitely a no.
Ooh, because you live far. Okay, thank you very much for that, Ruby. Girls, bags. Admit? Anybody taking on this? Bag.
I think pwede na yan.
Oh, I love how Michelle's the one who said, Michelle, no designer bags for you. No, it has to be, or all that.
I mean, I think we all have naman like those certain bags that we have to have, that like those high-end bags. But for me, I don't think it's that important. I mean, if I see a cute one that can carry all of my stuff and lug everything and still looks cute, then pwede na yan.
Okay, what about Leah and Ruby?
I'm an advocate of pamana, so all of my mom's bags are mine now. So I'm also pwede na yan. I just take my mom's bags.
Hey, wait a sec. Those heirloom pieces are precious, huh?
Yeah, vintage.
Yeah.
Those are investment pieces, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ruby. Fashion.
Well, for me, yeah, it doesn't have to be designer bags. I am fine with whatever. Not really the parang sobrang pangit, or I don't like knockoff. That is definitely
no knockoff.
No knockoff.
Okay.
No knockoff. Yes.
As long as the stitching, the material.
Yes, everything is, yes, the quality. You get the quality for the money that you pay for, then fine. That's fine with me.
Thanks,
as long
Ruby.
as it carry the things, fine.
Okay, girls, manicure. Especially if you're in a rush. Aminin. Manicure.
For me, it has to be good.
Yeah. If I'm gonna sit down, I want it to be perfect at least.
Yeah.
So I'll say naman, oh, if you miss a spot, can you do it again? Because my manicures last 2 weeks. I don't want to like have it pangit.
Oh, it's in the States. That's so expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just invest na rin. Everybody agrees on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a date with the parents? Are you the type to really, go all out? Like, you hardly see your parents? Are you still living with your parents? Are you going to say, fast food na lang? Or it has to be
no.
fine dining?
No, never.
Who's going to say pwede na yan?
No
one's going to admit you take their parents probably to, the mall food court?
No.
No one?
No.
Well, my dad's a creature of habit. So he likes going to the same restaurants all the time. And like every Sunday, when we come home from church, there's hapchan on the table. So I don't know if that's pwede na yan, because it's really him. But
there's a standard already you set with your parents.
Exactly.
Right? How about a gift for your significant other? Or just someone special in your life?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Well, so does that mean you have to spend like what, over 20,000 every time?
No. I mean,
It has nothing to do with the price.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Button
I'm
pot
a very
all night.
yeah.
Well thought out.
Yes.
Mm.
I think I would say. I mean, I'd like to say I'm a very good gift giver.
Woo.
Mhm.
We're
I
all
mean,
friends now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really, a lot of things come into play when you say pwede na yan. But the one thing then that I want to end with is, when is it never okay to say pwede na yan? I'd like to end it with that. So let's get, I love that we've been laughing. I love that we've been so human and honest. But really, at the end of the day, and it's because of our topic, we all agree, hindi pwede ang pwede na yan. So what is your non-negotiable when it comes to the pwede na yan attitude? Who'd like to go first?
Well, for me,
Okay, Ruby.
as long as, well, hindi pwede when it's compromising what you believe in.
Let's be very specific, Ruby. Are you saying faith?
Not really. It doesn't have to be faith. It has, for whatever you believe in. Let's say you want to be environmentally friendly as much as possible. Then in everything that you do, you think of that, the repercussions, something like that. It's being aware. And then it cannot be pwede na yan just because it suits you at that time.
Yeah, or it's convenient.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, just because you don't have to think of other people, it's convenient. I like
right.
So always consider the environment. That's definitely for Ruby. What about Liana and Michelle?
I guess for me, it's kind of the same. The no compromise thing. It's funny because that was the message in our church the other day, and it made me think also about my faith.
Okay.
And it's good that you brought it up because that's something I'm very passionate about, and I do share it with other people as well. So let's say when it comes to spiritual disciplines, that waking up every morning and being able to read my Bible, that's something that I do every day. And I can't have that pwede na yan attitude and just say, sige, mamaya na lang, or sige, one chapter pwede na yan. Because that's really what sets the tone of my day, at least. So, faith.
Thank you for sharing.
The other thing that came to mind was also the workplace. So, since I'm a teacher, I really hold the hands of 14 young children, and this is their future. So I can't just say pwede na yan, especially now that parent-teacher conferences are coming up soon.
Yeah.
So I'll be talking to the parents, and before I talk to them, we write narratives that are about 4 to 5 pages long that talk about the child. And writing it we can't have that pwede na yan attitude, because we want the parents to know how much we know their children, how much we value them in the classroom.
Yes,
so it's work.
You consider you are the second parents, because you're the
Yes, exactly. 5 days a week we're with them.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Liana. What about Michelle?
I think I'd have to say, obviously, since I live naman in the States by myself, I always try and talk to my parents when I can. So kind of parang when I talk to them, na parang
Communication with your parents.
communication with friends and family, but obviously my parents for sure. Just try and talk to them as much as I can. Parang sometimes we'll say something na parang, oh, that's okay, I'll get off the phone with you, or something like that. You know what I mean? So obviously I cherish every time I'm here in the Philippines. So as much I'm only here such short periods of times when I am here. So parang I try and spend a lot of time naman with them and cherish it naman, kasi syempre I do live in the States by myself and I barely get to see friends and family from here. So
I love your answers, ladies. Can I just say? Because, of course, it applies to everything career, but you chose very, very specific, personal ways that you do not lower your standards. And these are things that people really take for granted every day. You throw trash in the trash can and it doesn't really shoot. People will, I'm not going to pick that up. That's, of course, from Ruby. And, of course, from Liana, really, when was the last time you read the Bible first thing in the morning? And, of course, from Michelle, when was the last time, especially when you're in your 20s, you pick up the phone just to say, hi, Mom. How are you today? Because we're all, thinking we're very, very busy with our lives. I'd like to share, from my end, hindi ever pwede na yan when it comes to manners. For me, there's just no excuse for bad manners. Respect. Bad manners and respect. Whoever you're talking to, or whoever, when you're invited to something, or even just greeting someone. A simple good morning, please, thank you. Are those really so hard? Those are the tiniest, shortest words ever, and yet they mean everything. That's like
That's true.
amazing communication, right?
Exactly.
Wow. Well, you know what, ladies? I think we had a pretty good hangout today. I'm wondering anything. I wonder who chatted with us. Any comments or anything else you'd like to add? Any final message to everybody here in Hangout?
I would just like to say thank you so much for having me. This is the first time I've done anything like this. This is very cool, and hopefully I'll be able to join you in more hangouts in the future.
Definitely. Yeah. Liana and Ruby.
I will say thank you to my cousin Samantha because she is the one who asked for me to be invited to this thing. So thank you, Samantha. And now you owe me dinner in G.
May exchange. What about Ruby?
Yeah, may exchange.
Ruby, hi.
Hi, yeah. So this is really fun, and thank you. This is a first for me as well. Thank you for inviting me, and I really enjoyed so much. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Definitely, and of course, not just to broadcast over coffee and all that. Thank you very, very much to all of our guests for participating in our conversation on never settling. Hindi pwede ang pwede na yan. We've heard how these women have proven that they can do it. So you can do away with the pwede na yan attitude and never settle at all for anything. As you can see, there's no stopping them in their career and even personal endeavors. And again, I love those takeaways of when it is never okay to say pwede na yan. Environment, faith, communication with your parents, and my little 2 cents, respect and manners. Really, no more excuses. We should all say goodbye to the pwede na yan attitude. You can break it if you choose to and become your best beautiful. Also remember that taking care of yourself, including your skin, should also be a top priority to exude confidence and show everyone that you can be great in what you do without forgetting to take care of yourself. As we end, I leave you with this thought. If there's a little bit of fight left in you, then just go for it. No matter what the outcome is, at least you know that you gunned and gave your best and tried to reach your full potential. I'm Isa Leton, and I'm proud to say I've broken the pwede na yan attitude. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
you.